Today I'm going to show you how I made this background. I just did it. Not 100% happy with it. I don't like this mom down here. So we're going to start with a stamp set. It's from the Sweet Stamp Shop. It's called Thoughtful Confections. And I'm going to use this stamp set here. We're also going to use white embossing powder to give it the look we want. And I'm also using, this is just watercolored paper I found in Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to start with just putting my stamp on my stamp pad. I'm using Versamark. I'm going to stamp this really good. Just going to stamp this down. I'm going to push really good to make sure I have all the little lines because it looks more like a chalkboard writing than normal writing. So once that is done, I'm going to take my white embossing powder . And it's on there, it's just really hard to see. Then we're going to use a heat gun. So it is embossed. And it's a little warped. There's better paper out there probably that doesn't warp as bad. And then I'm going to start with just Tim Holtz Distress markers. This is the second time I've ever used these markers. And this one is called Spun Sugar. I'm just going to use the brush side of it. And I'm just going to just like so. The next color I'm going to be using is called Pick Raspberry. And you can see that the embossing, where it's embossed, doesn't really hold the color. The last color I'm using is called Seedless Preserves. And from there, I'm just going to kind of take a baby wipe that I have to get it. Some of it's going to stick to it, just not a lot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it and spray it with water. I'm turning it because the way it's warping right now, I don't want all the colors to run in together. And we're just going to get it wet and push those colors around. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to push it in the other direction. So it looks just like that. Pretty, love it. Wipe up what's on my table and around the edges. It's not perfect, but I do like how it looks. And this is not clean by any means. Then I'm just going to take my heat gun and just heat it down. It pushes the water around a little bit, but it's not so bad. And because there's still a lot of this color here, I'm just going to do this again. Get that color moving. And I'll do it to the other side to get it moving in this direction. Use my heat tool again. Now it's really uneven, but I do plan on cutting it down. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray some of this water in my hand, and I'm going to just kind of puddle it all over the place. Just like so. And when it's how you want it, you just take and dab it off, and the water will come off of it and create these cute little circles on it. Not quite how I want it, so I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to dab it off again. So this is what it makes. I'm going to trim mine down. I'm just making sure it's not super wet to where the trimmer isn't going to work. So there's my piece. And you could pretty much do whatever you want to it. I'm personally going to do some of the things I did on this one, with the exception of the mom. I like the little black sequins and then the black lining. So to do the black lining, I just took a gel roller and just drew. My lines are not straight by any means. I'm just just drawing freehand. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella in white. It would look better if it was clear, but I don't have clear right now. I'm just going to kind of color in this way part. So it gives it just a tiny bit of shimmer. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. And then I'm just going to just do some little dots all over my card. In no order, just to kind of give it a little bit of shimmer in other places. And then I'm just going to add this to a card base, and my card, I'll show you my card when I'm done.